Message from Source. Downloading.
Awakening the stillness within. There is a place within you that has never moved, not once, not for a single moment. It has watched every storm pass. It has felt the birth and death of every thought. It has seen your joy. It has held your grief. And still, it has never stirred. This is the stillness within, and it is the first and final mystery of the spiritual path. You may call it spirit. You may call it soul. You may call it the divine. The names do not matter, not really, for what we speak of now cannot be contained in language. It is deeper than doctrine, older than any symbol, and more immediate than breath. It is the living silence behind all sound. It is the presence behind all forms. It is the part of you that has always been awake, even when you were not. To awaken the stillness within is not to become something new. It is to remember what you are beneath the noise of becoming. It is to return to the truth that was never lost, only covered. But how do we begin? How do we reach a place that is already within us? How do we awaken something that has never slept? The answer is both simple and fierce. We must stop running. We must turn within. We must sit in the fire of our own presence until the false burns away. This is the beginning of all true paths. Not action, stillness. Not accumulation, letting go. Let us walk together into the silence now. Let us remember the way. Stillness is not absence. It is not emptiness. It is not the cold void of nothing. Stillness is presence, fullness, radiance held in quiet. It is the unshakable center in the middle of all movement. It is the eye of the hurricane, the sacred pause, the holy breath between the in and out. When you enter stillness, you do not lose yourself. You find the self that cannot be lost. It is here, not in sensation, not in thought, not in emotion, that you come to know who you are, not as a role, not as a story, not even as a seeker, but as the silent witness, the living soul. Every great mystical tradition begins here. In the Kabbalah, it is the Ein Sof, the boundless, unmanifest essence. In the Christian tradition, it is the peace that passes all understanding. In the Hermetic mysteries, it is the hidden source, the unchanging point. This is the common ground of all wisdom, the sacred stillness within. Yet, it is not enough to understand it. We must experience it. And to experience it, we must turn away from the world, not forever, but long enough to hear what it cannot say. Why is this so difficult? Why do we find it easier to read 10 books on spirituality than to sit 10 minutes in silence? Because the moment we stop moving, everything we have been avoiding begins to rise. Our pain, our longing, our fear, our regrets, they surface like forgotten ghosts, and we panic. We reach for distraction, for escape, for noise. But these shadows do not come to harm us. They come to be seen, to be heard, to be healed. Stillness is not a luxury. It is not a privilege for the spiritually advanced. It is the crucible of transformation, and the only way out is through. So we sit, we breathe, we watch, we allow. We let the thoughts come and go like clouds. We let the emotions rise and fall like waves. We do not cling, we do not fight, we simply remain. This is the sacred discipline, not to conquer, but to observe, to witness, to trust. Stillness is not fragile. It is not weak. It can hold anything, and the more we return to it, the more we discover. It can hold everything. What happens when we awaken the stillness within? First, we remember our peace, not as an idea, as a living force. We remember that it is possible to be calm in the storm, to be rooted in the flood. We remember that we do not have to chase meaning. It arises when we are quiet enough to hear it. Second, we begin to see clearly. The illusions we once lived by dissolve in the light of presence. The false identities we clung to lose their grip. we stop needing to be right. We start wanting to be real. Third, we connect with others, with life, with the divine. From the space of stillness, we speak with more compassion. We listen with more presence. We love with more depth. Fourth, we awaken power, not the power of force, but of alignment. The power that comes from standing in truth, from acting with intention, from living as a vessel of the sacred. And finally, we come home, not to a location, but to a way of being. We are no longer searching for something out there. We are living from something in here. Stillness is not an end, it is the origin point, the place from which all wisdom flows, the place to which all wisdom returns. So how do we live this? Not once a year, not once a month, but every day. We create space. We make stillness a priority. We treat it as sacred time, not because it is quiet, but because it is true. Begin with a few minutes. Sit, breathe, watch. When your mind wanders, bring it back. When your emotions rise, let them. When discomfort comes, welcome it. You do not need to reach silence. You only need to stop running from it. Stillness is already there, beneath the noise. It is not created. It is uncovered. In your tarot pathwork, this practice deepens everything. The cards speak more clearly. The symbols open more fully. The presence of spirit becomes tangible. You are no longer using the cards to find your path. You are walking the path as one who listens. Stillness is the source of that listening, and it is always within reach. Every moment is an invitation, every breath a threshold. Awaken it. Return to it. Live from it. For in the stillness the divine does not visit, it dwells. And so shall you.
Message from Source. Downloading.
Understanding the ego through observation. The ego is not your enemy, but it is not your friend either. It is the first mask you learned to wear. It clothed your raw being in identity, in story, in control. And like any garment long worn, it begins to feel like skin. But you were never just this mask. This is the first mystery. You are the light that watches the mask. From your earliest breath, the ego began to form, not as a flaw, not as sin, but as protection. The child in a chaotic world learns quickly, I am the name they call me, the praise they give me, the shame they make me carry. I am what I do. I am how I am seen. I am my pain. I am my ambition. This is the ego's birth cry. I am. But what speaks underneath that cry? The observer, the part of you that has always watched, the one who hears your thoughts but is not your thoughts, the one who feels your feelings but is not consumed by them, the one who witnesses your shame,